Howdy, everybody. Thank you for coming back to Five Downs with Fannon. I apologize for missing last week. Unfortunately, I was a little under the weather, and I didn't think you'd want to see me dripping snot and sneezing all the time while I tried to make some picks. Though, I guess maybe that could have helped because, my picks have been okay. They've been okay and stuff. But if you're new here, welcome to the show. As always, I'm your host, Spencer Fannon. Give you a quick breakdown of how this is going to go. We will be talking about 5 games of the upcoming weekend. This week, it's 4 college football playoff games, the first round games, and then we're going to have 1 NFL game and such. Now, I call my show 5 Downs with Fannon because, as I said, I'm Spencer Fannon, but also 5 downs. Now, you might wonder why 5 downs? There's only 4 downs in football, and you are correct. But as a Missouri alumni, 5 downs is a special or infamous connotation for Missouri alumni, as back in 1990, the Colorado Buffaloes were facing the Missouri Tigers in Columbia, and the Colorado Buffaloes got an extra down at the end of the game. The referees accidentally gave them an extra down. They lost track, and Colorado was able to score a touchdown on that drive, and it ended up winning them the game. And they ended up going on to split the national title with Georgia Tech. So that's where the 5 downs come from. And it just makes it easier. 5 picks. There you go. So, looking back at it, at least in our last show, it was conference championship weekend, and picks went 2 and 3 and such. We had, I'll bring up my handy dandy notebook. Hopefully I don't get sued for the Blues Clues reference there, but we went through all the conference championship games, the ones that needed, that college football playoff implications and stuff. Big Ten, SEC, Big 12, AAC, and ACC. And I got 2 of them right and 3 of them wrong. So let's see if we can do better this time. In the 9 weeks of doing picks, I am 21 and 24. So that's not terrible, to be honest. That's really not. And stuff, yeah. But I'd like to get to 500 or better on this one. So let's try it. So like I said, we've got the 4 college football playoff first round games, and then we got 1 NFL game. So why not? Let's just get right down to it with first down. All right. First off, we'll go right off the bat with the first down. It's the first college football playoff game of the year. It's going to be number 9 Alabama traveling to Oklahoma to face number 8 the Oklahoma Sooners in Norman. It's obviously a rematch of a SEC regular season game that happened about a month ago at the time of this recording, on November 15th. Oklahoma won 23-21. I believe that was at Alabama. Pull up my handy dandy phone this time. Yes, it was at Alabama. It's in Tuscaloosa. So obviously, I believe this will be. Yeah, Oklahoma's going for the third straight win over Alabama. So, quick betting breakdown. Oklahoma is a 1.5 point favorite. Over under is set at 40.5 as of right now. That's a really low total. Wow, especially for a college game, because you feel like most college games are in like the 50s, maybe even 60s, and stuff. But this is kind of. I think I talked about this game. Let me go back and check. Did I talk? Pretty sure I talked about this game. I did not. Well, it was it was my extra game back on my November 15th episode and stuff. I actually took Alabama minus 5.5, and they lost. They lost outright. So this will be interesting. But no, it's just going to be again a battle of really, can Alabama score enough? And can Oklahoma score enough, I suppose? More in the sense of Alabama's offense is going against one of the best defenses in the country. Oklahoma's defense is fantastic under Brett Venables and stuff. But Oklahoma's offense is not great. It might be the weakest of any of the teams that made the college football playoff. They've got talent, that's for sure, but they haven't been consistent at all this year. Arguably the only and then Alabama's defense has not been very good. It's been okay, but it hasn't been like that staple Alabama defense, at least in the last couple of years. So it's the question is, it's like, can Alabama score enough to really obviously to win this game because you need to score the most points to win. But it's like I'm trying to think of it. It's like is I don't know if Alabama. I think Alabama's defense is probably close. Is got a better chance of holding Oklahoma's offense down. I think Alabama will be able to get some points. Yeah, I mean, okay. Anyway, I took the over 40 and a half. I just think there's going to be just enough points scored here. I think it's going to be a 23-20, 24-17 type, 24-20 type game. With the 2 weeks off, both teams having the 2 weeks off, didn't play in their conference championship games and everything. I just think that they're going to bring out some wrinkles and stuff that the defenses are not going to be adjusted to. I think both teams are going to be a little bit healthier and stuff. So I think that the score will be just over enough. It's not going to be like a 30-27 type game, not a shootout, but I think that there will be points scored in this game. I think both teams are going to be jacked up to doing it. So I think that because of that, the offenses will get a few points here or there that maybe in a regular season game they wouldn't have. So I'm taking the over 40 and a half, just a low number. I think that 41 points will be scored. I don't see this as a 20-17 type game. I think 24-20, something like that is going to happen. So. But yeah, that's the first game of the college football playoff on Friday. I'm sorry, it's 7 o'clock Central. So got that pick out of the way. Let's head on up to second down and the next college football playoff game. All right, second down, and we're going to the second college football playoff game, and it's staying in the SEC as we've got number 10 Miami facing number 7 Texas A&M in College Station. This is the first game on Saturday, December 20th. Quick betting breakdown: Texas A&M is a 3.5 point favorite. Over under is set at 48.5. I mean, you can make the case that Miami shouldn't be in. Going off of my picks, I actually had Miami making the college football playoff. I had Notre Dame making the college football playoff as well. I didn't have Alabama because of that third loss, but so getting that out of the way, A&M had a rough showing against Texas, their regular season finale, which took them out of the SEC title game and a chance for a top 4 seed. This will be interesting because you've got talent across the board on both teams. The question is, it's like, which quarterback do you trust more? Do you trust Marcel Reed or do you trust Carson Beck? Carson Beck obviously has the experience over Marcel Reed, but he's also shown he can be a little hit or miss in the bigger games. I mean, I think in Miami's losses, he's struggled with turnovers and stuff. And Marcel Reed has shown flashes, but I don't know if he's been as consistent, truly as you want as A&M and Mike Elko want him to be. He's also already announced that he's coming back for next year, so that takes another little thing off his mind. He knows he's coming back, so he can just focus on this. In this, I'm taking the over 48.5. Early morning game. I think both teams are going to be jacked up to be there. Kyle Field is going to be rocking. I think that both teams will be able to move the ball. Miami's offensive line is very good, as well as Texas's defensive line. Texas A&M's defensive line, I'm sorry, and vice versa. The offensive line for A&M is very good, and the defensive line for Miami is very good. So you would think with that you would go the under, but I think that there's going to be. I think they've got two very explosive offenses, and I think there's going to be just enough offense, just enough explosive plays in this game to get over the total. Might be sweating it out a little bit and stuff, but I really do think both teams are going to be wanting to score points, put up a show, especially with Texas A&M being the home crowd, first home game there, first playoff game, home game there. So they really want to show out. So I can't wait to watch it. I think it's going to be a really good game. It might be the best, most aesthetically pleasing of the 4 college football playoff games this weekend and stuff, because I could see Alabama, Oklahoma being a defensive slugfest, which is fine. And it'll be a good game, but it's like you do kind of want to see points and stuff. And the other two, you never know because they're the 2 games with the group of 5 teams. So I'm really looking forward to this game. Again, Saturday, 11 a.m. Central Time, so can't wait for that at Kyle Field. So that's our second game. Let's head on to up to third down. All right, third down time, and we're again. I guess we're staying in the SEC just because they've got so many teams making the college football playoff. We've got number 11 Tulane taking on number 6 Ole Miss. This is the middle game on Saturday afternoon. Saturday at 2:30 Central. It's a rematch of a non-conference game that these teams played earlier in the year when Ole Miss blew Tulane out. I think like 45-10, something like that. Let me pull this up. Doink, doink, going, scrolling through scrolling through. All right. Tulane, yeah, 45-10 back on September 20th, so 3 months ago, and stuff. Obviously, a lot has changed. Lane Kiffin has moved on. Tulane has been playing much better recently. Quick betting breakdown. Ole Miss is 17.5 point favorite. Over under is set at 56.5. I I would love to say I could take Tulane here, just because I do think that number is really big, 17.5. But I think I'm going to take Ole Miss. I'm going to take Ole Miss minus 17.5 in this game. I think that they want to show the committee that they didn't need Lane Kiffin. I think that they want to go out and show everyone, show the world that they didn't need Lane Kiffin. They could do this on their own, and they're going to go out. I think they're going to go out and probably wipe the floor with Tulane, unfortunately, and stuff. I don't know if it's going to be I don't know if it's going to be a 35 point blowout, but I definitely see it as a three score game. So maybe that you lose by the hook and stuff. It's only 17, but I I'm taking the 17 and a half with Ole Miss. I'm taking the favorite in this because I just think that they're gonna be ready. They're gonna want to prove that they belong and that they didn't need. It's not just Lane Kiffin's offensive genius. It's the team. So I mean it's gonna be a fun game to watch. Probably, I hope anybody who went to Tulane is not going to watch this in the sense of like you guys have had a fantastic year, and to be honest, I'm picking with the head in this case, not the heart, because with the heart I would be picking Tulane plus 17.5. I think that they've got a really solid team. It's just I want to get these picks right, so we'll see. And if I don't, hey, that's on me and stuff. But I think Trinidad Chambliss, Keywan Lacey, I think that offensive attack is just going to be too much for Tulane. I do think it's going to be pretty high scoring. I could see it being going over the total. So if you don't like the big spread, maybe you go over the total of 56.5. But I'm gonna roll the dice and go take the minus 17.5 in this. So we'll see. Can't wait to watch it. It's going to be a fun weekend. But that's third down. Let's head up to fourth down in our final college football playoff game of the weekend. All right, fourth down and final college football playoff game of the weekend. It's at Saturday night game out in Eugene, Oregon, 6:30 Central. Number 12, James Madison, facing off against number 5, Oregon. Quick betting breakdown: Oregon is a 21-point favorite as of the time of this recording. Total is set at 47.5. And I guess going back on, it's like I'm taking the 21. I'm taking James Madison plus 21 in this because Kurt Cignetti coached at James Madison a couple years ago before he went to Indiana. They run the same offense. Indiana beat Oregon earlier this year by 10 points. Now, obviously, the teams have changed massively, or James Madison changed massively, but I think I could see this sneaking under, like the spread. I could see this being like a 34-17 type game. I could see this being a 31-13, something like that. I mean, this total is 47.5, so it's kind of a smaller total. With that, you kind of lean toward the underdog and stuff and such. So I think that James Madison is going to do just enough to keep this under the number. I don't think that they're going to win outright for sure. I mean, unfortunately, it's going to be another year where we're like, why do we have these group of 5 teams in there? I think that they should get a chance and stuff. Give them a shot. To be honest, I would go to 16 teams. You have the top 8 conference champions, ranked conference champions, and then you have 8 at large bids and stuff like that. Do it that way. and stuff, with some other qualifications to like try and even up the scheduling and stuff like that. Like each conference has to play 9 conference games. Each conference has to have at least one out of conference game against another Power Four or Group of Five team, stuff like that, just to try and balance the schedule because these conference realignments and expansions have gotten too out of control. But going back to this game, I do think Oregon wins. Dan Lanning, Dante Moore, those guys, they're going to want to prove that last year was a fluke when they got blown out in their first playoff game against Ohio State, that juggernaut. So I could see this Dan Lanning wanting to put the screws on this game and like blowing out James Madison. I just think that James Madison is going to have a score enough to keep it within the 21 number. So yeah, I guess that's my real risky pick and stuff, but I'm gonna go with it. I again, head over heart. We'll see what it is. I lived in Oregon for a couple years and stuff like that, so I know the area relatively well. I'm a fan of Oregon and stuff like that, but I think James Madison does enough to keep it within the number. So now we head out of the realm of college football and head to the pros for fifth down. So let's go. All right, fifth down, and we're in the NFL, and we're going to the big NFC North matchup of the weekend. Got a rematch of 2 weeks ago. We got the Packers traveling to Soldier Field to play the Bears. Saturday night game, 7:20 Central. Quick betting breakdown, at least as of recording of this, Packers are a 1.5 point favorite. Over under is set at 46.5. Obviously, the big news with Packers, Micah Parsons is out for this game, torn ACL. Also, I believe they're going to be missing a starting tackle. I think their right tackle, possibly their star safety, and Evan Williams. They do look like they're going to have Christian Watson back. Obviously, with the Bears, they just announced earlier today of this recording on Thursday that both Roma Dunze and Luther Burden are going to miss these games. Obviously, Kyler Gordon went on IR earlier this week, or the week of the first Packer game, so a week and a half ago. So he's going to miss it. So both teams are beaten up by injuries and stuff. Obviously, 2 weeks ago, the Packers won 28-21. A really good game. Bears had a chance to tie it up, maybe even win it at the end. But Caleb Williams is picked off in the end zone. Obviously, it's a close game. The DraftKings had it at a 1.5 point favor for the Packers. When I looked, it's been fluctuating between that and Pick'em game, going back and forth in a lot of the other books, if you can look at them. So depending on how you want to go with that, I'm taking the under 46.5. I think because of the injuries and stuff, I think that this is going to be a ground and pound type of game. The weather is not going to be as much of a factor as it was at Soldier Field last week when it was like -6 wind chill and stuff like that. It's going to be, I believe, in the mid 30s probably at kickoff. I'm not sure about the wind and such like that, but it's going to be Soldier Field, so it's windy anyway. But I think because of that, both teams are going to want to control the clock, control the ball. I'm taking the under in this game of 46.5. I think obviously Bears have probably had the edge in running game, though the Packers have the edge at running back. Josh Jacobs is a better back than DeAndre Swift or Kyle Monangai, but I do think that the Bears' running game is better than the Packers. But we'll see. I think both teams are they're going to want to control the clock, not to make a lot of mistakes, because Bears win this game, they get to 11-4. They're in the driver's seat for the NFC North and possibly the number 1 seed or 2 seed in the NFC. If the Packers win, they get the tiebreak over the Bears. They jump them back into first place in the division, and at least and it's the second overall seed in the NFC. So it's a rivalry game. The Bears played well, very well in the second half. Packers dominated the first half of their game up in Lambeau 2 weeks ago, so it's going to be a really fun. I think it's going to be a really good game. Looking forward to it and such. But I think that it's going to be a lower scoring game. Their last game went over. I think the total was like 44 in the last game because it was cold. It was going to be colder up there, and it flew over at 49. So I think this is going to go under and such. It's gonna be a tight game. Who knows? I want the Bears to win, but I don't know and such. But I'm gonna take points in the premium. I'm gonna go under the 46.5. So There you go. That's the 5 picks. We'll break them down really quickly. First down, we had first college football game, Alabama versus Oklahoma, taking the over 40.5. Second down is number 10 Miami facing number 7 Texas A&M, taking the over 48.5 in that. Third down is Tulane versus Ole Miss, taking Ole Miss minus 17.5. Fourth down is James Madison versus Oregon in the final college football playoff game of the weekend. I'm taking James Madison plus 21. If you want to buy it up to plus 21.5 to save yourself maybe that push stuff, go ahead. And then the fifth down, it's Bears versus Packers. I'm taking the under 46.5 in that. So there you go. We'll see how those goes with those picks. Let me know. Please leave a like, subscribe, comment on the channel. Let me know if there's any games for the next week or so in bowl season or the NFL that you want me to take a look at in future episodes. Thanks again so much for watching. And until next time, this is Spencer Fannon. Go enjoy the football. It's fantastic. Stay warm, have fun, watch the football. There you go. Till next time.